Our lives are more precious than an Oprah and Tyler movie. Just the thought of it, I find myself crying because it moves me. People across the world are dying just eating food, see? We place waste into our body. We're not choosy enough to turn away from that plate that's waiting for us. Then once we gain weight, folks can't wait to ignore us. Life could be a short, sad song minus the chorus. A huge and exciting like Times Square to a tourist. I was surprised when I saw this documentary. What I saw almost injured me mentally, but eventually it made sense to me. The food that we're given can link to how long we're living or if we wind up in prison. Listen, I bet a lot of us just don't know about how animals go into shock and start foaming from the mouth. And when they feel they're about to be killed, they drop down shaking. Then they turn into ground beef, pork, and turkey bacon. Oh no, I mean yes, that's the reason we're depressed and we find ourselves so oftenly going through stress. Animals feel pain, so they're quite like you. And because they paid the price, you'll have to pay the price too. Swine flu? Look at the name. Mad cow disease? What's next? Terrible turkey? If you now believe that relationships are craziness, then this should make you sick. They already got a disease that's called crazy chick. Maybe these names are traps to trick us, while in the meantime those dead animal spirits came back to get us. And if that sounds bananas, then it's time to go Rilla. Be a vegetarian, cause eating meat is gonna kill you. Heart attacks, cancer, strokes, oh my. Hypertension, diabetes, believe me, it's no lie. These things do occur, but honestly, what would you prefer to see further in the future, or perhaps live in the blur? Pardon me for acting ill, but for real, we all need to diet and chill. Swallow some vitamin pills, hit the track, run laps with an iPod, and start to reminisce over fat. My God. If you try hard, you will be successful. Lighten your load and life won't seem to test you. It's a process for progress. God must test you. So remember that your body's a temple. Bless you.
Self-hatred, they hate their own so much.
New York City, Harlem World, USA.
Self-hatred though. Self-hatred. So
House of Consciousness. Baba TV. Since to the Dawn. Mystical America in your area. For my people.
The same man that was kissing him on the lips. You understand that you're dealing with somebody that's dealing with traumatic.
Yeah, it's time.
Dealing with some kind of trauma. You're dealing with some kind of self-hatred.
I'm just trying to stay sucker free, cause all of these rappers really, they ain't nothing to me. What they speak, they ain't trying to teach. Just like I hear the same thing every day, every week. You got a million, but your thoughts is weak. You ain't teaching nothing, man, when you up in the streets. That's why I laugh at you, turn it into a massacre. Little when we revoking your past back to Africa. You pass a liar, you smoke weed to pass the fire. You niggas sucking on a white man pacifier. All I need is 100 people, don't need a choir. Turn on House of Consciousness, Baba TV always fire. You talk about your people, then they always stare at ya. This ain't no Roman motherfucker, this America. You say you rep your hood and rep it from the government, cause every time you kill yourself, I bet they loving it. And Obama never did nothing for my brother's mamas. And Hillary, you kidding me, this shit is weak. You niggas sweeter than an Arizona tea. Stay tuned to HOK and Baba TV.
Black Power. We right here downtown, Midtown Manhattan, Times Square, before the lens of Baba TV. Your brother Sankofa, soldier for the cause, spokesman for the House of Consciousness. Oh man, what we out here right now is one of the livest places to be in. Not just in New York, but in America, period. Times Square, we in the heart of the belly of the beast in Midtown. We're gonna do is we're gonna walk around, we're gonna engage some people, ask them about their perspectives about voting, about the actual debate that took place between Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and then we're gonna just freestyle and talk about critical subject matters and issues that are affecting black people today that need to be discussed with a solution orientation at the end of it, all right? So we're gonna step out right now, live here in Times Square, let's get it. I wanna thank Baba TV once again for giving me the opportunity to come before the lens and to give this message to the people, the Sankofa style, the way I give it, you know? Some people say I'm long-winded. No, I'm broad-scoped. You know, I'm not a shallow perspective person, and it's reflective in the way that I talk about things, the way I go in depth about subject matters. You can't ask a critical question and expect a simplistic answer. I just don't do that because I know that people deserve better quality of answer and dialogue than something just shallow and some old flim flam breakdown or something. I love the people more than that, all right? So listen, we're gonna farm. Yes, right here in the heart of Times Square. Check some of this backdrop. Yes. Yes. Come on, let's walk. Doing my own. Right here on 42nd Street, historic 42nd Street, right here in Times Square. It's all going down right here. I remember back in the day when I was down with Dr. York, I had left home at a young age and came out here to New York City, 16, 15 years old. And we used to be right here on 42nd Street. We used to go in Medina's out in Brooklyn on Flatbush Avenue. And we used to cop incense oils. We'd come right here out here to flip the money to put right back into the Ansaru Allah community. Right here. Oh, 42nd Street looked totally different back then. Not different in the sense that there wasn't a lot of people. It's always been overcrowded. But it looked more gutter. Prostitution was rampant. You would see them walking up and down the street like nobody's business, and like there was no such thing as police. You know? Wasn't cameras everywhere. What you're seeing now is like a Hollywood version of Times Square. Back then, Times Square was the hood. It was the gutter. Oh, believe that. It's all right. Usually got the Israelites, they usually be out here, you know what I'm saying? They ain't out here today. They're not out here on a regular basis, but when they are, they usually right out here. Shout out to the AOC. Shout out to the brothers Zabak from We Got Next Israelite, the House of Israel. You know what I'm saying? People know that I come from that background. That is a part of the journey that I had to go through in order to become who I am now and what I am becoming. And I'm grateful for that part of the journey, because that led me to the transition that has led me or leading me to higher levels of consciousness now. That was a stepping stone that I'm not mad at, but I just don't agree with the teachings and the tenets of the ideology now, you know? But the brothers, I still love them because they bang on this beast. They're Vanguard for the cause of liberating the minds of our people. They do it in their own unique style, manner and fashion, but at the root of it, the love of the people is there, and they know who the enemy is. I can't say that about everybody who claims RBG or who claims to be conscious in general. A lot of people are not vanguards. A lot of people are not revolutionaries. You know, we got scholars, and shout out to the scholars out there. You know, being a scholar is very important. You know, education is very important. It's very paramount and imperative that we sharpen our minds and that we deal with better methodologies of doing research and drawing conclusions out of information that we research. It's very important. However, we must also understand that everybody has a position to play. It's not like scholars start revolutions. It is not like a revolution takes place on a college campus. Maybe a revolution of the mind and in consciousness. It contributes to that. You know what I'm saying? Shut up, devil. See, the white man's the devil. That's why a cracker bitch would jump in the conversation. You know, a little bit of shine she wants, you know? Yeah. So we're going to cross over here. We on Broadway right now. But I was saying, the revolution doesn't take place. Maybe the revolution in some dynamics of the conscious level. But revolution that we need is not going to only take place on the campus. The scholars are not going to be the ones who lead the charge. So we got to understand that we have to grasp the attention of the youth and know what to do with that attention once we gain their attention. And what kind of leadership to give the youth, what kind of skills to give the youth, you know, so that they can plant seeds as they grow and evolve in consciousness to awaken other generations, making the bloodline stronger and making our plight for liberation more of a feasible reality, okay? So yeah, we're out here in Times Square. You know what I mean? This is where I be at. You know, for those, you know, who a lot of people, they try to put out the smear campaign video as if I'm some kind of lowly drug dealer and I'm out here. If I was, you'll see fiends running up on me. You'll see the energy and you'll see how the people deal with me as we travel. You'll see them come at me in a different manner. And you'll see and you can gauge if you have common sense. But we also know common sense ain't common. how the people gauge Brother Sankofa, how they deal with your brother and respect, most of all, your brother right here. Because who I am, flaws and all, and we all have issues and flaws. I'm Vanguard for what I stand for. This is in my DNA. Therefore, it is deeply rooted in my blood and it's in my heart. And this is a mission that I'm going to ride proudly to the death. What mission is that? Black liberation ideology. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if I'm at work, on work, when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming about it. I brush my teeth, black power. I tie my shoe, black power. I work out, black power. I sleep, eat, and breathe this ideology because this is real. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Uh-oh, you know we out here.
By TV.
Yo, you already know. You already know. What's up, Papa?
We don't,
Yeah.
We don't spit hate upon our own people.
Okay, get this.
That's one thing we don't do, you know what I mean? I'm all for my people.
When you say we don't teach hate, define, is there a time to hate? Is there always a time to love? And let me ask you another question, a two-part question. Do other people feel the way you do that are not your color?
Nah, nobody feel, if they're not my color, they don't feel the way I do, man. I love my people. I mean, some people want to call me racist, then I accept that. I am racist. I love my people more than I love any other.
There you go. I love that. Hey, let me ask you a question, real brief, for the brothers, because we like to gauge the hood. We like to gauge the streets. I'm from that element, and most of the people that watch us come from that element seeking knowledge. I want to ask you from a perspective. We don't have to, because we deal with the people on different levels of consciousness and ask questions. We deal with people in academia and ask questions. We want to go to the hood because there's a lot of unrecognized and you know what I'm saying? Like covered hood, covered information of scholars in the hood. The young brothers that got a perspective that is not reached. We want to know, what is your perspective? Did you see the debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump? And if so, what is your perspective on that?
Yo, check this out, man. Whatever is going to happen, regardless between Hillary and Donald Trump, it's already written, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a marketing scheme or whatever. The people got to put and start voting and voting for what's right. Some people that think they riding with Donald Trump because they tired of people getting Medicaid, free food stamps, and some of us are lazy. I'm man enough to admit it. A lot of people have made us lazy, but I don't mean judge the people that really need it. And that's where I feel like Hillary is talking for those type of people. So once you mix that in and you leave out the racism, it all equaled up to something, man. You know what I mean?
Listen, bro, it's black power always, brother.
That's right.
You know, and I'ma vote for Hillary Clinton, not because I want to, but because I don't got no other choice but to vote for her. Right. I think Donald Trump is a KKK guy, and he allowed to do what he want to do, but I don't want to vote for him. I'ma vote for whoever represents the black people right now.
Okay, now this is power. That's why it's good to engage the people and see the perspective of the people, because you'll learn some things. These people represent a perspective that a lot of people have. My thing to you is, because there's nothing, we should vote. But I believe we should become more politically educated voters. You see, because when black people vote, we vote because we don't have a choice. Right. It's the thing. Listen, I'm being euphemistic. Okay. We don't have no other choice. It's the right thing to do. But see, when the Asian, the Mexican, and the Caucasian vote, they vote in a body. They vote as a group. They have an objective for a community. They have a mission statement or an objective. They're thinking about their kids' future. A lot of time we go, what? Who is popular? Who, not all of us, a lot of us do. I interview a lot of people, brother, so I'm talking from that perspective. Okay. I'm not saying you. Okay. I'm saying a lot of people, a lot of us are not politically educated, and we vote as individuals. We don't vote as a community. The black community, we're going to vote because we have a popular vote. That's why they come to us. Right. We want this and that. We demand this and that before we just vote for you. Because far too long have we been duped by politricks, under the name of politics, who have told us things to get our vote and have shammed us and scammed us. How much longer are we going to play this game? Should we become more politically conscious? And how much do you know about Hillary Clinton for real? I got something for you.
Okay, now we're not going to really target either one of them, but to go back on the stage, a lot of people are not politically correct because a lot of us didn't make it past the 10th grade. Some people didn't make it past the 12th grade. And some people deal with poverty so much mentally, they don't want to deal with nothing other than surviving. But the people who's past middle class, the people that are past middle class, they understand the benefits of what's out here to get. They tell you this since kids. There's proper procedures. And when you know the proper procedures, you don't be so upset at the system. But when you try to work outside the system and move faster to that, that's when it traps you and makes you bitter. So you're going to automatically vote for the person that sounds something that's very easier for you. But technically, we all do need to vote, but a lot of people do count on celebrities. That's because celebrities dab on people's needs for charities, stuff that's in the community. They know they fix certain things. So a lot of people just gravitate towards that because every time it's election time, you see the flyers on the floor in the hood, the police, more people getting indicted. I'm from Coney Island. My name D. Chambers. You know what I mean? They know I'm 6'2", no time for the small talk. I'm very familiar out here. I'm very politically correct. I understand what's going on. Do we need to vote? Yes. Do we need to stop the crime and the black on black crime? Yes. Is the cops, do I feel like it's martial law? Yes. Why is the dudes out here with machine guns on the corner? The tank's been out here. You just waking up. There's no more stop and frisk. You move, you don't cooperate, you get murdered. That's what's going on out here. So we do need to vote against that and put some good, powerful leaders up there. And that's how I feel.
I want to say this. One thing about our people, I like what Chuck D said when hip-hop was conscious back in the day. And much respect to all of you brothers. And I thank you once again for even conveying your perspective and sharing your time, taking away from your hustle to give the people this. But a lot of our people, one thing we have to learn is who the enemy is and how this political system works. Right. How it essentially, it was designed against you anyway. And we have examples. Oh, we have many examples. For instance, you're considered, for instance, you know that we're still considered 3/5 of a person, according to the Constitution, and that hold on, and that has never been repealed. What up, my G? That has never been repealed. Hold up. So when you go in voting, you got to understand that there's executive orders in effect. There are people in political power that have positions of power that they're trying to maintain and not share with you in effect. You see, whereas the paradigm of power doesn't shift from you to them. Now, blacks only, according to statistical data, make up 14% of the American population. But we're also the biggest consumers. That's why, according to the World Bank Atlas, we spend over $800 billion a year in consumer goods. Okay? So here it is, because the reason why we do that is because we're more consumers than producers. And we have to also understand that certain political agendas were put into a place to undermine us from using the vote to our advantage, to using the power of our spending to our advantage, and for using nationalism to our advantage. What do I mean by nationalism? Do I mean wear dashiki and just say kill whitey? Because some people have a commercial perspective of what that is. When I say nationalism, I mean we all come together on common objectives and collective goals. We don't have to agree with everything. We don't have to have the same religion. We don't have to sit in the same church. We know that we have a common enemy, and we know we have a common destiny of detriment if we don't address the enemy properly. So political education is real, but you know what it is? Principled unity is even important, because if we think that the system is only wrong because black people just don't understand politics, we're missing a big piece of the picture that has been etched in the history of us being here in America for over 400 years. You were brought here to be property. We were brought here to work as slaves. We weren't brought here to have equality. We weren't brought here to share power with the white man. Now, certain concessions have been given to certain people that look like us in political power, and that's politics too, in a scheme, because therefore everybody won't revolt if they see a certain resemblance of them in position of power. They give them a certain false sense of hope, that we have hope. Maybe we're not doing something right. And you're absolutely right with what you said, and I'm not taking away from what you said, brother. What I'm specifically trying to do is add to your bill, because there are missing pieces of this dynamic. If we start voting with a white man's heart change and start shooting us down in the street, is there something embedded in the fiber of their consciousness, or it is because black people don't know law good enough? It is that, because we need to exhaust all measures, but I think we should not factor out that we're dealing with an enemy that is diametrically in opposition to our success and our collective growth and empowerment, regardless of whether we vote, regardless of who's in power, regardless of what the situation or the circumstance is politically. What do you say to that, black man? Because I like your opinions.
But before I get out of here, what I will say is that there's a matrix going on, and they showed you in the movie the people that was underground was independent. They had their own thoughts and their own frame of mind. In the regular world, they moved forward in one direction, black and white suits, and they was in that matrix. And that's what's going on out here today. You can be easily caught in the matrix if you don't follow the guidelines. You will be kapoofed and going out of here. My name D Chambers, I'm 6'2", no time for the small talk. Dodge the matrix. Holla at your boy.
Coney Island, my man.
Too. D Chambers, man. You already know what it is. Warrior mentality, Paper Rock Records, Streets Most Famous. You already know what it is. SMF, the #1 street A&R. We out here. We doing our entrepreneur thing. I ain't work in 19 years. I don't work because I do my thing on myself type of thing. You feel me? So I'm a free man. Yeah. Free man. And we getting money, man. And we out here and we educating the people. You know, I got my brother D Chambers. I got my brother. We out here putting it in. Putting in that groundwork. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Let me ask my brother a question right here, right? Because a lot of people, they try to come out with a smear campaign about me because I sell comedy show tickets. And there's a lot of money in this if you know what you're doing. Am I not right? And any hustle in Times Square.
Yes, it is right. He's trying to feed his family. Man, there's nothing wrong with that.
And let me ask you another question, right? Now, because a lot of people try to say, and this is not, it really ain't really about what people say, but I just want to gauge, let the people see what the people that know me for years out here say. What do people call me? Not Boston, because everybody know where I'm from. That's my hometown, Roxbury. That's a given. But I'm just saying, because of my stance, the way I talk, the way I'm always building. Am I on that, or am I sometimey with that?
Nah, you always on. Ever since I first met you, you feel what I'm saying?
Sometimes people.
This is a brother that does that. He's not the ordinary person that you see every day. He always have something positive to say, especially about, you know, people from his background. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, you know, I mean, one thing I know about this, man, you're a good brother, and you're gonna get a fight, man. When you're doing the right thing, you're gonna get a fight.
I had one today.
So, you know what I mean? Like, it's love, man. You know, we're gonna fight to do the right thing, you know, and listen, we welcome the negative fight, man. Listen, because this is what we stand up for, you know, and this is what we die for, you feel what I'm saying? So, you know, I'd like to thank you for being out here.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you legalize it. Don't criticize it. I'm the ganja God. I'm the God of kings, the God of good, and the God of our God. Legalize it. Don't criticize it. I'm the ganja God. This is New York City, paradise, peace, love, happiness, and joy. Yes, ELF Nation, ganja, one love, New York.
I got a question for you real quick, right, for the viewership. If there was to legalize it, there's different ways you could legalize it. You could legalize it where you decriminalize it, where it's no longer something that you would be arrested for. Or they can legalize it, whereas they put it in stores. They start to tax people for it. So they start to generate revenue for it.
Right.
But when they start to do this, different additives, preservatives, so they can manufacture it at a higher capacity starts to happen. If they legalize it like that, what do you think about the weed then? Will you still be the weed man? Will you still smoke that weed? Will it still be the same? Or should we legalize it and fight to be able to grow it and have it and just have it decriminalized? When you say legalize it, what perspective do you mean? To actually decriminalize it, or for them to take it and sell it and give it to us and tax us for it?
Actually, legalize it. Don't criticize it, but legalize it in a way that people can grow their own and smoke and be independent and be free, no taxation. Just legalization, seeing for people to be free, because herb is the healing of the nation. Herb will heal all the world problem of all the nation and bring peace, love, happiness, and joy to the world. Understand? It's one love. In Jamaica right now, we have it legalized. Everybody happy. You see it? We'll be in paradise here on earth. Once we legalize it, and don't criticize it. Yeah, I'm the ganja God. One love. love. New York City, peace and love.
All right, peace and black power.
One love.
Come on, say black power to the people.
Black power to the people.
All right.
Love, happiness, and joy. Ganja God. New York City.
All right, thank you, brother. Yes, we right here, Heart of Times Square, still on Barber TV, House of Consciousness, bringing this black news media to you, raw and uncut. You know what I'm saying? It's fire every time. Black news media. We say black power around here. How do you feel about the term black power?
I love it.
What about white power? You're white.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
Do you think white power has been a detriment to humanity?
Yes.
See, you're laughing. I'm being serious right now. Let me tell you something.
The concept in itself is not. Okay, no.
Because when we say black power,
people power.
okay, I wish the world worked like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't. People are people, and people have different objectives, agendas, and they fight for different things. Now, I'm going to say this. When we say black power, it is a camaraderie that we say for people that are a fallen part of humanity, okay, that have been a disproportionate distribution of wealth and privilege has been given to Caucasians and has been deprived. They have been deprived of. See, so when we say black power, it is the plight for empowerment for a people that is fighting against against injustice. White power has always meant we are supposed to be superior, manifest destiny. We are supposed to dominate and oppress.
Really what you mean by it, you know? I get what you're saying, and I agree with you.
You believe in white power?
White power in the sense that I am better than you? No, I do not.
You believe in empowerment for yourself and your people?
For me as an individual, absolutely, but not me as a white man.
Because what they have done is they tried to demagogue the term that we use when we say black power and equate it with white power. When we haven't hung nobody from trees, we haven't castrated nobody, and I'm going to be real, we should. We should, only because people that are in positions of power that only deal with violence throughout their history only respect violence. They don't respect too much preaching. They don't respect too much protesting. There comes a time where you have to meet head on that opposition with what they understand, and that is violence. So I can't shake your hand because my black power won't allow me to, but I'm glad that you came before the people and expressed your perspective on what white power is. This is a, all right. We say black power, which means the end of white supremacy. Black power. Just joking. Peace and black power, man. This is a powerful brother right here. A man who I've known for how many years?
Oh man, like 14, 15.
Yeah, well over a decade, right out here in Harlem, New York.
Facts.
Okay, we met, we was in the park working out together.
Indeed.
Remember? I was in the new Black Panther party. We was over there on 145th and Lenox. Back in the day, we was chopping it up then.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And look how this man evolved. He's a beast then, but damn. Okay?
Appreciate that, God.
This brother is very conscious.
Yes, sir.
We share and engage in very beautiful dialogues over the years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
On
sir.
a plethora of different subject matters, right?
Absolutely.
I respect your opinion. I respect your perspective. And I wanted to ask you a question about the voting, the electoral process in general, but specifically this campaign, the Hillary Clinton versus Trump. We wanted to know, did you see the debate?
Nah.
What was your perspective on it? And even if not, what is your perspective on voting? If whoever gets in office, does that affect the plight of black folks? Should we just rely on voting, or should we become politically educated, and should we become nationalistic and do for self? Too many of our people are just relying on somebody to vote somebody in office and for them to change our paradigm. What is your perspective on that?
Give me 1 second, King. Now, well, I feel as if we're running into, a brick wall. We're caught between a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean? But it's better to be caught, between a rock and a God place than a rock and a hard place. Because unfortunately, you got Hillary, who pretty much deleted Bernie's emails, and that sucks. You know what I'm saying? If a black man did that, it'd be a done deal. It'd be a done deal. So that right there should disqualify you. And then you got Donald Trump. You got this guy over here just talking reckless about everybody. And I just feel like he's a ticking time bomb. He he's just waiting to explode at any God-given second. So it's very unfortunate, you know, that we're caught between a rock and a hard place, you know. But at the end of the day, I just say put your faith in God and everything, and things are going to work out the way it's supposed to, you know. But unfortunately, you know, times has evolved, and we've came to a change, and now this ugly thing has to spear its head.
That's a powerful thing that you said. You said put your faith in God.
Yeah.
I like what he said, Baba, because our perspective of God even has to change. So when we put our faith in a false God,
Yes.
a God that doesn't look like us, we would put faith in voting for them all the time.
Absolutely.
See, when a God looks like us,
Absolutely.
when it reflects us,
Right.
you would see the higher faculty of thought within you,
Yes.
and capability for us to do for self,
Yes.
and to utilize
Yes.
the information and the knowledge bequeathed unto us by great leaders and leadership that have came before us and warned us about the conditions that we would be facing 100 years ago, Marcus Garvey, if we didn't get politically educated and nationalized as a people. Because we have to understand
Yes.
that we should believe in the concept of God. But
Right.
when you're God,
Exactly.
you're going to fight to preserve that Godship, that Godness,
Right.
that goddessness, your women,
Yes.
your children, to the fullest.
And the God.
And you're going to vote for the best interest of the collective good of the gods, of your people.
Yes, sir.
The Asian man, when he votes, there's a block vote. When they go to Chinatown, okay, you see how they got stores, they got shops, they have cultural continuity,
Right.
and they should.
Right.
I don't have a gripe with that.
Right.
My thing is that after 1963, according to the records, when certain government-sponsored social programs such as Section 8 and welfare spelled backwards as farewell, not really, but I'm being euphemistic. Okay? Farewell. It sounds like it. It's not really spelled that way. But you know, people, it's not really spelled that way. Fair and fair.
They
You
get
know,
the point.
but
They
to get the point. You couldn't have a man in your house. So what happened that contributed, because along with the disproportionate distribution, as I always say, of wealth and privilege, along with government-sanctioned redlining, with the Federal Housing Association, the FHA, from 1932, from 1932 to 1964, backed $120 billion of government-sponsored money to give to Caucasians, many of whom which first or second or even third generation migrants,
Right.
okay,
Right.
from other countries. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Give us you're weak, you're hungry, and you're poor,
Speak it.
and you're tired.
Speak it.
Okay, so a lot of the people that were from Ireland, from Italy, from different parts of Europe that came here, okay, they was able to profit from the government-sponsored redlining initiative,
Yes.
which created
Yes.
the white suburbia that you see now. And we know that when you own homes and you have homes, the taxes that go on paying homes is what is used to build up street lights in the community. Make sure that the pavement is smooth and the sidewalks are up to par, and make sure that there's schools, the money goes into building schools. But because we have been disproportionately giving that access to wealth and privilege, the Caucasians have been able to build up white suburbia and the suburbs and have to inherit wealth and privilege, where we inherit social condemnation, okay? And we know that poverty and ignorance together is a perfect breeding ground for crime.
And it sucks.
For crime. And an inferior complex of the people derives out of that.
Yes.
So a lot of our people think that these are situations that we have are dealing with because we haven't pulled ourselves up from the bootstraps, or because we're not politically educated.
Yeah.
The political education part, to an extent, is a fact.
Yep.
But even if we are politically educated and we vote individually, not collectively,
Right.
okay, we will still be met with the same politics, the same oppression, the same decadence, and in a face of global and institutional white supremacy. Because we understand that racism is not just a white man saying, hey, nigger, fuck you, we don't like you.
Speak it.
No, racism,
Speak it.
and the system of institutional racism has refined. It goes through a refining period where it's not just black and white like back in the day. See, back in the day it was black and white. But since then you have Asians, you have yellow people, you have brown people, people from different Caucasian descents in Europe who have come here and who are fighting for the American dream. People that were brought here that were never given citizenship, that is considered 3/5 of a man according to the Constitution now. Okay, so even our vote is 3/5 of a person. A lot of us don't know that. We should become politically educated when we vote. We should become politically conscious in our voting. But we also, do you agree, have to vote from an idea knowing that we have an enemy in the system in which we're voting for, and that voting can only take us so far. We should use voting to get us to certain levels, and we should employ nationalism and our own capabilities and our own desire for building to take it to the next level. Do you agree with that? And if so, speak on it. And if not, speak on it.
I so totally agree. We have to exercise what little bit of power in which we have. And we have to know that just as long as we got the faith the size of a mustard seed, you know, we can move mountains with that little bit of faith, you know. And we also have to know that we're pretty much Neo in our own matrix. You know, we're running around pointing the fingers at who we think is the enemy, but we are our own worst enemy. You know, so don't get in the way of yourself. You know, so yeah, I so totally agree with you. You know, we have to exercise what little bit of power in which we have.
I like what you said, because we are our own worst enemy, not by nature, but by nurture.
Yes.
By design, by social design, what I just described to you.
Yes.
If you take a rat and you put it in a box, you take two rats, you put 2 rats in a box, and you take a piece of cheese and put it on one side of the box, and you close the lid and put the box on a different side of the town, and you come back and open that box, guess what happened? Them rats then killed each other over that cheese. But see, if you have another place where there's equal distribution of that cheese, the rats are going to flourish, they're going to protect, they're going to respect each other's cheese, because they all have it. But see, disproportionate distribution of privilege generates, socially engineers a decadent environment where crime, because first law of nature is self-preservation, where crime and ignorance and not having a comprehensive knowledge of self, which has been woven into the fabric of American as an institutional paradigm as it pertains to how it relates to us, is what we're dealing with. So know that when we say, and I say it a lot too, we're our own worst enemy. Our women against us against our women, gangs, different religions, and the conscious community. It's a fact what he's saying. We're banging on each other because we don't agree with each other's information. You know what I'm saying?
You know, not to interject too much, but even doing this in which I do, you know, I get out here and I transform myself up into, like, you know, numerous characters and stuff like that. You know, positive things. You know, positive characters. I try to pretty much show people by example, because you got to lead by example. I try to show people that you are God. This is why I'm dressed like this. You're supposed to look at me and say, this brother is a reflection of myself. This is why I do this. You know, but if you're looking at me at the enemy, then I'm saying,
out here, man, half naked. You know, nigga.
Doing? Then what are you doing? Are you grimacing your face at yourself? That's not a good look. You know, for real. You're supposed to look at me not just as a built black man, but be like, man, this brother inspires me, you know what I'm saying, to move from point A to point B and even point C. You know? I mean, never stop, you know. You know, we are indeed our own worst enemies, and it has to stop, you know what I mean? Because all day long, you know, it's crazy. You know, I understand we've been programmed and we've been conditioned, but I get Caucasian folks, oh, can I take a picture with you? You look awesome, you know, and they'll throw me money. But when it comes to my own people, a lot of times they look at me, turn up their face, you know what I'm saying?
Woman looking at you, they probably mad or envious.
And it's bad, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day and the beginning of the day, you know, it's the God in me, you know what I'm saying, trying to convey this message to you that you are God. This is why I'm dressed like a God, because you are God. Black man, black sister, you know, so there's no reason to hate on me. You know, I tell them, don't get mad, get abs. So it's not me dissing you or dismissing you. You know, I'm gonna spit some bars. That's me kissing you. Pause. But at the same time, you know, this is my way of encouraging you rather than discouraging you. For real, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get mad, get abs. In other words, shaping yourself up, shaping your mind. You can have mental abs. Ain't that something? You know what I'm saying? You know, for real, you can build up the core of your brain. Mental core.
That's a fact. And I want to say this too.
You know, so
back to us being our worst enemy. I don't know if we're our worst enemy. I think we're our immediate enemy because we are where we're at.
Right.
Where you see is your own people.
Right.
Now, to go to some of these sundown towns and travel abroad, what's up, my brother? You'll see, or if you see historically. Systematically, the white man has proven to be your worst enemy. See, we don't have an agenda for Planned Parenthood. The white race does. We don't have an agenda for mass incarceration. The white people do. We didn't infest our communities with crack, with semi-automatic weapons after the United States government financed a covert war between the Sandinistas and the Contras of Nicaragua. Okay? And they used crack cocaine to do that. And then they flooded the communities with that, creating the atmosphere of crime and then utilizing our music to turn it against us by intermediates who had a meeting between record execs and private prison owners to incarcerate us, to destroy us. See, we don't have agendas like that. We're victims of being socially engineered and mentally manipulated and brainwashed, denationalized, and mentally Caucasianized to hate each other and see them as superior and us inferior. That's why what we have is a learned behavior. It is by nurture, not by nature. And the things that we're doing now is geared towards offsetting and reversing that mentality. So I want to thank you for the enlightenment that you dropped. I love your energy because it's in your inner G. Not just your energy. Your inner G.
Exactly.
The energy, the spirit. Listen, hold up. The frequency and the vibration that you operate on, because you're a big brother. You can be out here smashing heads. You out here, you're giving people smile and inspiration. Don't get mad, get abs. You're giving them inspiration. Hold up. And then you come with a positive, strong demeanor, knowing you can do damage. And if a lot more of our brothers can be like that, oh man, we'll be making a lot of steps in the right direction. Leaps and bounds in the right directions, not just steps. I thank you. I give much love to you. Black power, and thank you once again.
Indeed.
All right.